grip of Cottom.
Yeah, it looked like he repeated the cutter right there again. Missed location, though. I think he wanted to go that outside, maybe backdoor it, freeze him up. Yeah, looking on the outside here.
So ball and 2 strikes on Walls. Came up last year for the Rays. And there's the heat from Eovaldi and a strikeout to start his spring.
Yeah, great job here. A little quick pitch action right there. Didn't go in the full motion and got him looking. As a hitter in spring training, when you see a guy do that, I mean, you are going to freeze a lot because you're just not ready for it.
It's something that he started when he was with the Rays back in 2018. Jen McCaffrey in The Athletic wrote at length about it, and he started talking to some hitters, learned how effective it could be, and we have seen it now through the years, how he tinkers with timing like that.
Yeah, it's the key. You want to get hitters off balance. You want to get, that's what naturally is with the breaking ball and the off speed. But if you can change that motion in any way, you disrupt the hitter, and that is hard as a hitter when you have guys giving you different looks.
Ball and a strike on Josh Lowe, center fielder today for the Rays, former 13th overall pick.
Josh, don't call me Lau.
Yes.
Lowe.
And you have to know the differences with this club, as Lowe lifts this one short right. And Rosario makes the catch for the second out. What do you expect from Eovaldi this year, and knowing the guy that he is now at this point in his career?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of know what you're going to get out of him. He's going to ride that fastball. He loves, bringing the velo at a high level, averaging around 97 miles per hour on it, and then just following it up with a mix of pitches. It depends on the day what he likes to do, and he just loves to keep hitters off balance.
He gets a first pitch roller from Vidal Brujan, and Christian Arroyo throws him out, and Nate looks sharp. He is off and running in spring training. A scoreless top of the first from Fort Myers. And now the Red Sox come up for the first time in the last of the first inning. And here's the lineup for Alex Cora. Jackie Bradley Jr. back with the Sox. He's in center. Christian Arroyo follows in second. Devers and Bogarts 3 and 4. Bobby Dahlbeck back in there. He's at first today. Kevin Plawecki is the DH. Ryan Fitzgerald, Ukes boy, he's in left. Jason Rosario roams in right. Cole Cottom does the catching. They will face Chris Mazza, who has been in the big leagues each of the last 3 years, including with the Red Sox in 2020.
And the defense for the Rays. In left field, we got Miles Mastroeni, sorry. Center field, Josh Lowe. Right field, Ryan Bolt. At third base, Vidal Brujan. At short, Taylor Walls. Second base, Jonathan Aranda. At first, Tristan Gray. And the battery is Chris Mazza on the bump and Francisco Mejia at catcher.
As Jackie Bradley Jr. climbs in, traded back right before the lockout after 1 year with the Brewers. He signed with them following the 2020 season, and he told Jemai the other day that it was a shock that it happened, but as he has come to know in this profession, been around long enough, you learn to expect the unexpected.
That is definitely the case. You never know what's going to happen. You just got to go out there and control the things that you're able to control. I mean, it's everything in life, but especially in pro sports. If you lose focus of the everyday grind of going out there, getting your work in, getting your body in the right spot, your mind starts wandering on things that you can't control.
He's behind 0-2.
Okay.
As Mazza deals. Opposite way, sliding stab on the shift, and what a throw. And a play from Vidal Brujan, the third baseman, who gets JBJ for out number 1.
Yeah, this is a great first at bat. I think, in spring training, you want to get hits, but when you hit the ball hard and it's at somebody, you're not mad. I mean, you're doing everything you can, and just an unbelievable play with a guy out of position, playing shortstop right here. Knocks it down and absolutely a seed to first base.
So Jackie's retired, and it brings up Christian Arroyo. Now entering his 3rd season with the Red Sox, his 2nd full season. You see what he did last year in just shy of 60 games. Hits one on a line into the gap, tailing away from Josh Lowe. And Christian Arroyo has his first hit of the spring, a 1-out single in the 1st.
Yeah, great swing right here. He does a lot of damage last year on fastballs and off speeds, meaning split fingers and break and change-ups. But a good piece of hitting here. Great out of the gate, staying up the middle, staying through the ball, and get that little tail action going into right center field.
So some hard contact from the Red Sox here in the first 5 pitches against Chris Mazza. And it brings up Rafael Devers, an all-star and a Silver Slugger for the first time in his career last season. And swinging through a breaking ball will advance Arroyo to 2nd.
Just like we said in the opener, he's going to swing at a lot of pitches. He has a huge smile on his face after this swing because this is the one you want back as your first swing and miss. But hey, got the runner over.
You said it right off the top, a guy who is going to be in that MVP discussion. I mean, he got down ballot votes last year as well, and you would expect more of the same for him. Still only 25 years young.
Yeah, I mean, to be that young and have this much experience is huge. And one thing I love about him is the deep breath he takes in between each pitch.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people might get annoyed with that as a fan on the opposition, but I'll tell you what, he's calming himself down, he's maturing, and good things are going to happen when you do that in the box.
You saw the numbers: 38 home runs, 113 driven in. Oh-2 on the way. Devers takes. With Arroyo at 2nd, 1 out in the last of the 1st. Mazza's 1-2. Devers fouls it back.
Yeah, just missed that. That slider didn't do much. Just kind of just spun up there. And he's trying to bury that slider down and in again to try to get Raffy to swing at something bad, and just leaves it out over. Ooh, almost does some damage on that one.
Here's the 1-2 outside. Remember, the elbow was eventually what it was determined to be. The issues that Devers was having down the stretch, and you could tell he was in some pain. Chaim Bloom said after the season it was elbow inflammation, no structural damage. They thought rest would help. They made sure he had an MRI in the middle of the postseason to make sure it wasn't anything more than that. And it wasn't. Goes down looking. 2 down.
Yeah, good pitch right here. Got to freeze him. It looks like he's thinking it's the slider, but that ball looks like, I can't tell if that's changeup or with no miles per hour, or it's a heater. But you know, it kind of looked like he was looking for that ball to break a little bit more into him, and gives up on it. Strike 3.
So a strikeout for Chris Mazza. 2 away, and here's Xander Bogaerts. Again, the only regular who was in there yesterday for the Sox in the win over the Twins was Bobby Dahlbeck. Jarren Duran was in the leadoff spot as well. And more of the familiar faces on day 2 of game action here in Fort Myers.
Coming out first pitch, throwing a breaking ball right there in spring training to a guy that's usually probably going to take first pitch.
Second pitch is a bouncer that gets through to the shortstop Walls, and he throws out Bogaerts, and the inning is over. Just a single from Arroyo. He's left at 2nd in the 1st.
training. We're still scoreless through one inning. Had a chance to catch up with Red Sox pitcher Nathan Eovaldi, who's on the bump this afternoon, who told me he had to get pretty creative with this offseason workout plan because it only went up to about mid-February, about the time that he would have reported to spring training had there not been a 99-day lockout. He said he had to adjust it a little bit and get creative. He also lives in the Houston area during the offseason and works alongside Connor Wong, who lives in South Texas as well. And the two have got a chance to really create a rapport. And Wong told me that it was an upgrade to what Eovaldi had been doing, but the workouts were not only a benefit to him, but Eovaldi as well. Here's what he had to say inside the clubhouse.
I mean, obviously he can do good work in, always having someone to be able to catch him. I think before he was throwing with me, he was throwing into a cinder block wall. I think that's what he was saying. So, you know, obviously he's hurting the wall more than the baseballs, but and it's beneficial for me just because, you know, a guy with as much experience as him, you know, I can pick his brain and you know, see how he goes about, you know, navigating lineups and you know, maybe I can learn a few things from him. So it's been really nice.
So the relationship has been beneficial for both guys. Nate told me that Connor knows his pitches. They also worked together during the pandemic, which was a godsend for him as well. Nate probably going to be about 2 or 3 innings here this afternoon. That's what Alex Cora says, but he says he's been keeping his pitch mix, but he's looking to work on a slider during the spring, guys.
Yeah, Jemai, great stuff there. So you go from cinder blocks to actual spring training once the lockout is over for Nate Eovaldi.
Got to find any way possible, and we're having a little struggle here, trying to find out what Nate wants to throw here. It's good old spring training.
Yeah, working with Cole Cottom, and an 0-2's cut on and miss to the breaking ball to get Francisco Mejia, and the second strikeout for Nate.
Yeah, good pitch right here. Nice little curveball that just breaks out of the zone. That's what you want to throw with 0-2. You know, make it look like it's coming in right on the corner. Next thing you know, it drops out. You know, good hitters take that pitch. Aggressive hitters in spring training are swinging right through that.
You heard Jemai talk about the slider that Eovaldi's working a little bit more on. That was the curve, as you said. And that was the secondary pitch that Nate threw the most of last year.
Yeah, he mixes it up well. And another quick pitch right there. I'm absolutely loving this because I can't hit anymore.
How would you have dealt with it as a hitter?
Well, the hard part is you got to get ready early, and then you're trying to be on time because you have to prepare for it. But it's one of those things where you're just trying to foul that off too. A lot of times, if it's with 2 strikes, until you get 2 strikes, a lot of guys they'll take because they're off balance and they're not ready for it.
It's 1-2 on Jonathan Aranda, the Rays' second baseman today. And Nate deals. Foul back.
I think one thing I love most about Nate is he's upset with himself right there. Didn't like that pitch. Stayed up a little bit too much for his liking, and takes a deep breath and ready to rock on that mound again.
As Dave Bush, pitching coach, looks on. 1-2 again. On the ground right side, and Arroyo bobbles, recovers, and got it over there in time. 2 down.
Got to get these out of the way too. Great job of hitting the spot up in the zone. Ball gets through, stay with it. No panic right there. Gets the ball, makes a great throw to first.
Arroyo a little displeasure with himself, but he got the out anyway, and now there's 2 gone for Ryan Bolts, former second-round pick of the Rays, who was in AAA last year.
Got to get those away. You know, in spring training, when you get that first ground ball hit to you, you got the fans, you got the screaming. It's just different. And then all of a sudden you make that, and you're like, whoa, okay, we got this.
Got locked back in here.
Yeah. It's easy when there's no fans out there, no game situation. You're just taking ground balls.
Back-to-back fastballs.
That had some hump on it.
Ooh, mean, I just looked over at your face. Ooh, seeing fastballs like that.
Yeah, I've actually gotten to witness that when he was a young guy, man. He threw some rockets in spring training down in Jupiter. I'll never forget. I said it yesterday. He was one of those guys that you're like, whoa, hey, coming in too hot.
His 1-2's cut on and missed. Eovaldi goes back to the curve to strike out Bolt, and it is 6 up, 6 down, 3 punchies for Nate.
Jets. Pre-game coverage starts at 7:30, and the putt drops at 8, only on Nesson.
Oh, look at that. The beautiful family of Abby Murphy from Red Sox Baseball Communications and Media Relations. Hello.
No paparazzi.
Not when the binky is in. We go to the last of the second. No score just yet between the Red Sox and the Rays. With Kevin Youkilis, Mike Monaco, Jemai Webster, our entire Nesson crew with you.
See if Bobby can have a little repeat performance today.
2-run jack in the first yesterday. Takes a strike. We were talking about Nate Eovaldi last inning and what Connor Wong was saying about him practicing with cinder blocks. Bobby said after the game yesterday, hey, last week I was working on my backyard putting the fence in, and now I'm back playing. So yeah, glad to be not doing the yard work anymore.
Yeah, it's I didn't know big league ball players did yard work.
You did not?
No, I'll have to admit I canceled out on the yard work after doing the mulch for years that my dad used to make us do.
We got white collar Youkilis over here. Wave and a miss, 2-2.
Looks like he's going to go back to that pitch again.
Chris Mazza's 2-2. Dahlbeck went around. He strikes out for the first out here in the second.
Yeah, you got to get those out of the way too. A little check swing here, but yeah, this slider is a little bit closer, but yeah, tough one here. He's not seeing that well, and like I said, you got to get that check swing. You got to get the check swing slider on a pitch away out of the way early on in spring too.
Well, brings up Kevin Plawecki with 1 out, nobody on, and no score just yet. Plawecki starting his 3rd year now with the Red Sox. Signed a 1-year deal to stick around right before the lockout began. He provided the soundtrack to the postseason last fall.
It's huge.
Dancing on My Own.
Was he working with Kenny Loggins at all?
Fouled back by Plawecki. Alex Verdugo had some fun with him in sharing how Plawecki was when I guess you get the speaker, the aux cord. Verdugo said that Plawecki had about 5 songs in the rotation, and he just played the hits.
Hey, if it's working, stick with it.
1-1. Bouncer that is fair up along third, and Bruhan providing more slick Rays infield defense in these first couple of innings.
Had a lot of big hits last year too, I felt like. Yeah, tough one here. The ball hits, it looks like it's going foul, but just stays barely fair.
So 2 down here in the bottom of the second for Ryan Fitzgerald.
Bruhan's been showing off his arm strength here a little bit too. I mean, he just flicked that.
A really talented youngster coming up the Rays system.
Oof. Be careful, Mazza. Throwing at Fitzy. Fan favorite.
It took you about 2 innings to fall in love with a guy who has climbed to the far reaches at the top of the Red Sox minor league system. 27-year-old from the Chicago area. And you and Alex Cora think the same way, because though he had that wall ball 2-run single early in the game yesterday, Alex Cora pointed out that he also loved the ground ball that he pulled over to second base to get a man over from second.
Yeah, it's the little things you show a coach in spring training as a player that's trying to showcase themselves, probably be in AAA, or, you know, if you have the ability to make the team, you want to do all those little things to show that when they bring you up, or if you make the team out the gate, that you're going to help the team win games.
Called a strike, 1-2.
Good pitch right there. Little front door changeup. Yeah, just gets enough, Bart. Can't see that play, but
1-2. Fitzgerald bounces it right side. Tristan Gray handles it to make it a 1-2-3 second for Chris Mazza. No score after 2 in Fort Myers.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you got the regular one there, you got the quick pitch, the heater, and then you got the little hesitation, or the hesitacion, if you want.
You can hear X and a hesitation piece from Eovaldi. And he has breezed through these first 2 innings, Uke, on 22 pitches. We mentioned how Alex Cora said he would be content with 2, but they could have him out there for 3. So here he is in the 3rd with no score against the Rays, starting with ball 1 to Miles Mastrobuoni.
Yeah, the way he's going right now, I mean, he's throwing the ball well, low pitch count. Got to throw him out there for the 3rd.
Seems like good feel for the curve.
Yeah, he's mixing it up. He's throwing to the one for just a strike, get me over, and then he's also just burying it, which is huge. You know, getting ahead with that curveball leaves you to throw many different pitches after that.
Cutter there, 1-2.
That great spot right there to a lefty, up and in. That cutter is very effective. Yeah, good location right there, right at the hands. Well, actually a little bit below it, but I'll tell you what, that is a tough pitch to lefties. I'll tell you what, Mike, I'm excited for I'll probably say this about 1,000 times with that radar gun, because it's so hard to tell what pitches are coming in. When you got a guy that's throwing 2 good pitches that have a little bit of movement that are similar, it's very hard.
That's a fastball, and that's hit past the dive of Devers into left. Mastrobuoni takes the turn on his way to second. The throw, not in time. Mastrobuoni's safe.
Wow. We're gonna have to see a replay on this one. Goes with a quick pitch again right here with the heater away. Miles, a great job taking the ball the other way, and great hustle play out the gate. He knows, he puts his head down right away. He says, I'm going for 2 out the gate, see what I got. Good throw, good play. And let's see it. Yeah, got in there. Good hustle play. That's one that opens up the eyes for the coaches.
Arroyo thought he made contact there.
That is close.
I got a kick out of Arroyo going to the international signal for have a look at it.
Well, he was actually saying it to us. What do we see? You know, you don't ever go in spring training. You don't want to delay the game any more than it possibly can go.
So it goes as a leadoff double. And now 2-0 on Tristan Gray.
Gotta love the begging. Gotta love it.
Eovaldi about to throw his 30th pitch against Gray, who was in AAA last year. And he skies this one into the sunshine, and Devers has it for the first down.
Hey, big league pop-up right there in the sun on a day game. Not easy, but Raffy made it look extra easy there at third base for 1 out.
Wind blowing right to left at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. So 1 down. Mastrobuoni still at second. This is the 9th spot in the Rays lineup. Esteban Quiroz fouls one off of Jeremy Riggs.
Home plate ump took it like a champ right there.
Yeah.
And threw it with a lefty.
Where one?
Yeah. Took it off the right shoulder. Luckily, it's not his throwing arm, and throws a dot back to Nate. Love it. It's also good here, too, where Nate gets to go in the stretch. He was dominating so much. Now he has that opportunity. Yeah, you'd love to see him go 3 up, 3 down every inning, but it's also get that work in with runners on.
Quiroz in the air. Deep left center. Off the wall. Mastroboni scores from second. Quiroz is safe at second. He's got a run-scoring double off of Valdi here in the 3rd.
Yeah, great swing right here. Utilizes just enough of that breaking, or that changeup, or split finger, sorry, spin. You know, that's heavy spin on the split usually, and all you got to do is flick it. He does a nice job of flicking the ball, not taking an overswing. Good double, good hustle in here, and almost another out at second base. Ooh, very close. Second base ump is getting a lot of work in today.
No easing into it.
Yeah, I love it.
So back to the top now for Taylor Walls, who struck out looking on an Evaldi fastball to start this game. He's behind 0-2.
Yeah, got lucky right there. That another breaking ball. You know, the first one's to get me over, trying to get him, you know, to see this. Here we go. The second one, you know, right back in that zone again. You want to bury that, but got lucky there, and now it's time to bury him here with maybe a little cutter inside.
Oh, 2. Buries another. Ball and 2 strikes. The Rays, they traded away Joey Wendell in the offseason, so a little more time available on the infield for the likes of Walls, who was playing shortstop for the Rays last year right after they traded Willie Adames. That was before Wander Franco came up. Boy, did he get paid in the offseason.
Yes.
1-2. On the ground, right side, and Arroyo handles this cleanly. 2 down. The Red Sox 50-50 raffle presented by DraftKings raises critical funds in support of youth, families, veterans, all around our local communities. And to support the foundation in its 20th anniversary year, fans over 18 in Massachusetts and Florida can buy tickets at redsox.com/5050 through the 5th inning of today's game, and the winner gets half the net jackpot. See official rules for details. So Quiroz to 3rd, 2 down, and here's Josh Lowe. Flew out to right his first time. Goes first pitch swinging. Yeah, so Brandon Lau not in there. And then there is Nate Lowe, Josh's older brother, and Josh Lowe.
It's amazing.
They're testing you early, man. This is Tug foul.
I'm thinking I need to come up with like a digital, like my voice, and I can just hit that button on the toughest names where I can just like play it from my phone.
Producer Dan Aspen chimes in. A Uke soundboard.
Yes. God, we're gonna make so many mistakes here. I apologize to anyone out there, to their family members. If I mispronunciate, I apologize. Because I'm Kevin Youkilis or Youkilis.
It makes it easy when you've got a nickname that becomes synonymous with you, and it happens to be 4 letters.
You know, the one, the interesting one is when I spell out Uke, Y-O-U-K, there, for some reason, some people put W. In their head, naturally, it's a natural W when you say Y-O-U. And it's the most wild thing I've seen.
So they spell it with a W?
They'll spell it with a W right away. And it's not, and they always feel bad, like, oh my, and I'm like, no, it happens a lot. There's something in that right brain, left brain.
2-2 off the end of the bat and into right center. Gets a run in from 3rd as Quiroz scores. And it's 2-0 Rays here in the third.
Yeah, great piece of hitting here with Josh Lowe. I mean, gets the breaking ball here, just enough on it, and just flicks it over Christian's head. Great. This is what you do on a breaking ball. When you're out in front a little bit, just utilize those hands.
So a 2-strike double from Mastroboni. Quiroz had the knock. That one floated into right center, and Eovaldi ends the inning by fielding his own position and setting down Vidal Brujan. 3 innings of work for Nate today, and the Rays get 2 in the third.
Then at 7:30 on NESN Plus, it's the Battle of UMass as Lowell takes on Amherst. The Hockey East semifinals on NESN are presented by Rockland Trust Bank, where each relationship matters.
You got to find some shade at the ballpark at Fenway South in Fort Myers on a nice day for baseball here in the middle of March.
Yeah, gorgeous day here. A little wind right to left.
Red Sox down 2-0 here. Bottom of the third. 8-9-1 coming up against a new Rays pitcher. Chris Mazza was the starter the first couple of innings. Zach Irwin is the lefty. He's been in the A's organization the last number of years. Last year out of the bullpen between AA and AAA. Worked a lot. It's always a good mood at spring training, right?
Always.
A lot of fun happening.
Yeah, you know, if you're a veteran player, you're really enjoying it. You're just working on all the little things you need to do to get yourself ready for the game or for the season. And the younger players are just, you know, they're going out there, they're grinding, they're going on all the road trips. It's a little more stressful for those guys or the guys that are trying to make the team. But yeah, as a player that's established, it's a lot of fun.
Jason Rosario goes first pitch swinging. And we saw that sort of vibe and demeanor in Rays camp just earlier this morning with Wander Franco, the stud young shortstop who's not in the lineup for the Rays. But apparently he parked in the wrong parking spot this morning.
Yep. They don't care how much money you're making. If you're a young player and you think you get in the wrong spot, this is what happens.
So he parked in Eric Neander's spot, the head of baseball operations for the Rays. That's Wander Franco right there. So his car is in Eric Neander's spot, and so the Rays had some fun with it as Rosario strikes out. And so they drove his car onto the field and provided a target for BP coming up later that morning.
Oh, that's great. I mean, look at that beautiful new car. I mean, I think it's a Land Rover. Is that a Land Rover? I don't know my cars. I got to get better at it. But yeah, I mean, you've seen this throughout. I mean, one of the best ones I've ever seen. They took the actual tires off of a car at spring training. So yeah, this is the beauty of spring training, where teams, you know, the camaraderie is built through the practical jokes in spring training.
Cole Cottom, the batter, with 1 out, last of the third inning. I mean, you can buy whatever car you want when you get a $182 million extension over the next 11 years, and it could be as much as $223 million for Wander Franco, the largest contract in Rays history, and he signed it before he turned 21.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the Evan Longoria deal. You know, he had the same kind of deal. Well, not the same. I mean, that's a lot more money right there.
But huge.
But yeah, it's a part of a team like the Tampa Bay Rays that has to do stuff like that. They have to get good young talent early and lock them up. And I'll tell you what, they got a good player for a long time.
Ball and 2 strikes on Cole Cottom, the catcher.
Cole has got the best facial hair. You know, we thought it was Alex Cora yesterday, but I think Cole's taking it right now. Beautiful, well-groomed mustache we got.
Curling over, too.
It's gorgeous.
Got him with 2 strikes.
There it is.
Into right field, a base hit. The power of the stash.
That's right. When you feel sexy in the box, like Cole is, you're getting knocks. Great piece of hitting here too. Gets the ball outside, just stays with it, takes it into right field.
kind of the rule is, right? We talked about this yesterday. Whatever flies on the home front, keep them happy.
That's right.
Back to the top for Jackie Bradley Jr. First pitch swinging roller to second. Aranda to Walls. It's 2. And the inning is over. We're through 3. Deer. Nothing runs like a deer. Run with us. Sox down 2-0 to the Rays in the second spring training game of the season for the Red Sox here in the Grapefruit League. Part of 19 games leading up to the start of the regular season. It is now less than 3 weeks away. Amazingly. The day is done for Nate Eovaldi. 3 innings of work like we expected. And now a non-roster invite. Caleb Ort enters for the Sox.
I was impressed with Nate's performance. I thought he did really well. You know, a couple pitches here and there that just were left up, and you know, those are things to work on. You don't want to come out and be perfect in your first outing in spring training. So he's got a lot of stuff. He's just going to go back to the drawing board and be ready in 4 days.
We're at around 40 pitches for Eovaldi. And now here's Ort, starting with ball 1 to Francisco Mejia. Rays cleanup hitter and catcher today. 4, 5, and 6 for Tampa. Ort made his big league debut. The Red Sox last year. He gets a roller right at Rafi. 1 down. Eovaldi today, Nick Pivetta tomorrow, Tanner Houck on Sunday. That's what it lines up as for Alex Cora, Dave Bush and company. Alex Cora said this morning Rich Hill will work in live BPs. Garrett Whitlock will do the same. So for Hill, it's going to be 2 innings, his next live BP, 3 innings for Garrett Whitlock. And with Hill in particular, Alex Cora said, you know, we know what he is, and you don't worry too much about him and how he gets his work done.
Definitely don't have to worry about Rich Hill and knowing what to do. He's been around the game quite a few years and will be ready. He can throw on the backfields the whole time and be ready for the season.
One of the offseason moves the Red Sox made. Right before the lockout, a 1-year, $5 million deal for Rich Hill.
The native.
Milton's own.
That's right.
1-2 on Jonathan Aranda, who rolled out the second his first time. Checks his swing, did not offer. 2-2. For Rich Hill, by the way, it's the 7th different free agent deal that he has signed with the Red Sox.
Unbelievable. Oh, well, spring training, we're gonna have to let that one go. But yeah, I thought he went initially when I saw the pitch, but yeah, tough one right there. But hey, let's see if we can follow it up with another nasty slider.
Ort's 2-2. Full count.
Yeah, one thing that's changed in the game too here on 3-2, a lot more breaking balls than in the past. So you never know what guys are going to throw, and it's tougher with 3-2 counts.
Here's the payoff. It's a fastball, and it's bounced into center field, a base hit. 1-out single for Jonathan Aranda in the 4th. Download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and a whole lot more for your Boston Red Sox. Jemai had the hat going, by the way, just like you.
Yeah. Guess no one wanted to give him a program to wear.
Ball 1 to Ryan Bolt. Struck out his first time. I hope someone's bringing Jemai water. That was the pregame push.
Yeah. Got to step it up. Back-to-back changeups right there, huh?
So
I could
Balls and no
certainly
strikes.
use some H2O, guys. The one that I had that I brought out here when I first got out here is now probably 90 degrees. So I need a fresh one.
There's a strike. Which might sound a little beleaguered.
Yeah, he didn't really. I don't think he's really enjoying it right now down there. We got to work on some things for Jemai. We got to give him like a canteen or something. I don't know what brand of product I'm allowed to say right now. So
You're nervous. Bouncer to Arroyo, a pivot. Bogart's turn. Out of time.
Jeff wanted it. He almost called him out right there. Decided, hey, we want to play a little bit more.
So Bolt,
Yeah, bang bang.
stays out at 2. 2 down here in the 4th.
That's a spring training call, though. We need that call in spring training. Get off the field quick.
Ball 1 to Miles Mastroboni, who had that 2-strike double off of Aldi to begin the 3rd. No sign of the horn yet.
No,
Don't
not
need it
yet.
at this
No,
point.
we're good right now. But I think we're going to need it now. That Mike mentioned it. It's coming. Never talk about it, Mike.
I was getting crushed for. You blamed me for an 8th inning strikeout that the Red Sox had, and I heard from former Red Sox catcher Dan Butler, who was watching the broadcast, because he said Uke was the best I've ever heard. It's just a superstar already. But he said the punch out in the bottom of the 8th was on you, Monaco. This one bounces away from Cottom, and Bolt advances.
Jemai, how you doing down there, bud? Look at that. Delivery.
Doing a lot better now, man. Look at this.
Attaboy.
Ask and you shall receive. This is what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. This is saving me right now.
Now put the towel over top of it so the sun doesn't beat down on it.
As if Billy Titus could accomplish any more. One of the greatest cameramen you will find. (3-0). There's a strike to Mastroboni. Rays got both their runs last inning. Aldi's final inning of work. Chopper foul.
That's what Miles is going to want back. You can always see the facial expression, the body language of a hitter when he wants a pitch back. Yeah, right there, staying through it a little bit, telling yourself, hey, getting around a little bit, getting a little excited. Ball just beats him. You know, gets a little deep on him. He's like, oh man, 3-1. You want to get the head out, want to hit the ball out in front to drive it. Just got a little deep, and that's where you're like, stay through it more.
Shoots one the opposite way for a base hit. Fitzgerald comes up with it. His throw does not get Bolt. Mastroboni delivers again for the Rays. Lead 3-0 on the Sox in the 4th.
Mastroboni, you know, doing a great job today of utilizing the left side of the field. Tough play here. Fitzy tries to get it, throws it home. Grass eats it up. Another run scores for the Rays.
Mastroboni, a guy who has been in big league camp before for the Rays. Split last year between AA and AAA. As you said, good backside approach from him. 2 down for Tristan Gray here in the 4th.
Definitely been impressive. You know, taking some really good swings on pitches, and right there, just taking what you're given. You know, the shift's on right there. Shortstop's moved over a little bit. Get that pitch on the outer part of the plate. Hey, try not to hit a ball out of the park. Just try to move it over there on the left side.
Back foot breaking ball. Here's Nate Eovaldi out on the side fields right now. This is live footage after his 3 innings.
Just an athlete. An absolute athlete right there.
Roller to first. Dahlbeck snares it. Inning over. The Rays add a run, and in the middle of the 4th lead the Sox 3-0. These and for most games, you can visit redsox.com/groups for more info. JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. To the bottom of the 4th inning, the Red Sox down 3-0 to the Rays. 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Christian Arroyo, Rafael Devers, and Xander Bogaerts. Arroyo singled to center his first time. You know, because of the injuries last year for Arroyo, he only had 4 more plate appearances than Kyle Schwarber did for the Red Sox when you include the postseason for both of them as well. Wow. Guy who had some great moments for the Red Sox through some of the freak injuries that caused some frustration. You see he's got the padding on the left hand. He got hit by a pitch last year. He had a collision. Caused him to miss some time too.
Oh, there we go.
Pulls it in the left, and on a hop, Mastrobuoni couldn't snare it. And Arroyo reaches with his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Yeah, good job getting ahead of the count. You know, getting to 2-0. Gets a pitch right there down the middle of the heart of the plate and drives in the left. Jeez, Mastrobuoni's trying to put on display today.
Trying to sell it too.
Love it. Good player.
2nd single for Arroyo. And it brings up Rafael Devers for his 2nd AP of the spring. Struck out looking his first time.
Raffy right out the gate doing what Raffy does well. Just swinging.
You talked about how Xander Bogaerts had the lowest first pitch swing percentage on the Red Sox. Less than 20% of the time Xander would swing at the first pitch. It's a different story with Devers. Inside, back pick attempt. Arroyo back safely.
And his teammates are yelling from the dugout, "Don't worry, we got ice. Lean into one." Yeah, that's the beauty of baseball too, is each hitter is unique in the way they go about their at bat. Some guys right from the first pitch, they're hacking. Other guys are having a game plan they want to put together against the opposition and trying to figure out, hey, this guy might try to get me out early with a slider, or hey, he's going to attack me with a fastball, so I'm going to be aggressive. And other guys are just trying to see the ball. Sometimes when in that first at bat, you're just trying to see the pitch, see where the pitcher's throwing out of that window, trying to see the background, the backdrop, and just trying to get a feel for the rest of the game.
Devers facing Zach Irwin left on left. A lot of people think of, among all you did offensively, they certainly think of your patience among other things. Did you have like one specific approach, like if you were to boil it down to something when you walked in every time, or would change too much pitcher to pitcher, game to game?
Yeah, I think you have to have a different game plan every single day. It starts in BP, it starts how you're going, and I think it can be both positive and negative, but throughout 162 of a season, you have to figure out a way to keep a game plan that is to your strengths and less about your weaknesses. The hard part is when you're going bad, you start doing things that you don't normally do. And for me, I always like to see the first pitch because I wanted to see the action of the ball. I wanted to see the spin. Oh, there we go.
On a hop, and Pascaranda into right field. Arroyo goes first to third, and the Red Sox have the first 2 on in the 4th.
A lot of great baseball on this play. You look at it right off the bat. You know, Raffy taking a great swing, staying through the ball just enough at the end right there on the swing. Doesn't cut it off. that gets through the outreach of the second baseman, and Arroyo is moving. He knows right now, once it's by him, head down, taking off for third.
I've been around you now enough the last 2 days to know that good base running gets you going. Like that is a big part of the game.
It is. I really think it's one of the keys to the game of how you win and lose ball games. The decisions that you make or don't make on the base pass can lead to not only just a win, but like it's the big innings that allow you to get there. So big on first to thirds, big off reading balls off the wall. The monster is, and that's what's great about, you know, this spring training complex versus the first part of my career not playing at one, where you can learn on reading the ball off the bat and being ready to run from first base.
First and third, and Bogaerts rolls one foul. To your point, you were saying you liked very often to see one early, see the action, see how it came out of a guy's hand. And as we said, Bogaerts in a similar boat. As he saw the first one, a strike from Irwin, fouled off the second, and now down 0-2. Irwin deals, leaks outside.
From the angle of the camera, you can tell he's throwing that changeup really. It was very noticeable. The hard part is when you watch video as a hitter, you see that, and then you look when you're in the batter's box. Sometimes you just don't see it as well. It looked like the glove fanned a little bit. These guys here have one of the best managers that love to watch tipping. Alex Cora was the king of like seeing just the littlest movement pattern of a pitcher. And so that's the fun part of spring training too. A guy that hesitates a little bit on his changeup, a guy that has a different arm slot on a curveball. There's a lot more information now that guys are watching more than ever about those things. But I remember Alex and JD Drew were always so good at that.
It's an art.
It is. And it's also about watching the game, loving the game, paying attention to the game when you're not playing. When you're on the bench, there's a lot to see within the game. So, staying focused, and I always say this to the younger players, is hard. Attention spans have gone down greatly because of many different reasons. But when you watch the game, you can watch the pitchers, talk with your teammates when you see something too. Because sometimes your eyes see something you think it is. You ask the teammates to look, they're like, I don't see it. So that's the key to when you're facing good pitching. Is
strike three called. Bogaerts thought it was ball four. Instead, out number one in the fourth.
Yeah, tough pitch right here, right at the bottom of the zone. Looks like it's below the knees for ball four. Unfortunately, rung him up.
So Xander's out number one with Arroyo still at third, Devers at first. The Red Sox trying to get on the board with Bobby Dahlbeck, who hammers lefties. This was the two-run blast in the first inning yesterday from Bobby D.
Man, just a good short stroke right there. The pitch up in the zone, and that one's absolutely hammered.
Dahlbeck drills this one. Left center field. 2 days in a row. Three-run shot from Bobby Dahlbeck. And this game is tied.
Unbelievable Bobby Dahlbeck. 2 in 2 days. Couldn't tell if that was a cutter, but man, he keeps his hands close to his body on this pitch and just absolutely merged into left center field. Great job of pulling the hands in on a ball that's just moving in just a little bit. You can get around that ball. He stays through it by pulling them in, and man, just a great swing again.
Everyone.
Yeah, he had to get Flo and he had to get Rich there too. Oh, that sound. And the way the ball stays true right there. He's hitting through the ball so well, and it stays pure and on a line. It doesn't get hooked. It doesn't get too much tail going the other way. He stays through it enough. Great power swing right there.
Plawecki nubs one to Gray. Irwin covering, 2 down. We had this conversation this morning getting ready for the game that Bobby Dahlbeck has talked a lot about it just in the early days of camp, that he's so focused on timing. He said that word a few times when he chatted with Jemai during the game yesterday, and that he was so focused on his mechanics last year and making sure the mechanics were perfect. Well, now one of the things he's taken from Kyle Schwarber is just make sure the timing's good, first and foremost.
Oh, yeah, that's the most important part of hitting. And you know, you hear a lot of different things of get the foot down and what does that mean? A lot of guys are like, I don't understand what that means, because there's so much more before getting into the power position to hit. But when you're on time consistently through 700 at bats, you have a great opportunity to do damage. When you're off balance, which you will become off balance a lot throughout the season, you also got to learn how to hit a little bit off balance, but you want to be on time as much as possible.
So bases empty, 2 outs for Ryan Fitzgerald. Irwin deals. Cutting a miss on a fastball.
Yeah, it looked like it just beat him a little bit right there. Feeling for it a little bit more than just going at and tacking it.
And if you weren't with us yesterday, Ryan Fitzgerald, an undrafted guy out of Creighton, went to Indy ball at first, but has made a name for himself in the Red Sox system. Alex Cora talked about him this morning. He likes his versatility, strong kid. Said Fitzgerald actually got his attention for the first time a few years ago. That's low as Fitzy works a 2-out walk in the 4th.
Yeah, good at bat right there. Got the 2-0, was a little late on the fastball, but then went back, calmed down, and just took some pitches that were close.
Brings up Jason Rosario. You were talking about being locked in on the game and noticing little tendencies, stuff you can pick up in a pitcher, and in particular here in this inning in Zach Irwin. So the glove fanning a little bit, you were saying that you can notice sometimes, at least in this guy, but stuff like that could give away which pitch.
Yeah, some pitchers are better at it than others. They also fake you out too. They'll try to move their glove a lot. A guy like Ryan Dempster back in the day did all the crazy stuff that Red Sox fans got to see firsthand. But yeah, you can notice glove. You can notice you know, a hang and a pause on a changeup. You can notice all these little things if you're watching intently on the game. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, it would be a first at bat where I'd see a changeup and I'd be like, oh, he just hesitated a little bit. If I see that again, I know I can keep my hands back just enough to drive it.
2-0 on Rosario.
Good take right there.
You said J.D. Drew was excellent as well.
Yeah, J.D. was unbelievable. J.D. would be like his eyelid, and I'm like, what? I mean, J.D. had the craziest ones. Like, J.D. would say something, you'd be like, whoa. Because that is the beauty of hitting. Some guys want to know, like, and then there was the whole thing of getting signs from second base. Like, everyone's like, oh, well, there's some players that do not want you to relay if you have it from second base. And there was other players that love it. So it's just interesting. Every guy's so unique and different, and that's why you got to talk.
2-2.
Yeah, a little fastball up there that beats him.
A 3-run shot this inning from Bobby Dahlbeck. A 2-out walk from Ryan Fitzgerald. And now a 2-2 to Jason Rosario.
Oh,
Hits the knob of the bat, or did it get his hand? I think just the bat.
yeah, this This is the hard one. When this ball comes, sometimes it will hit your bat and it will hit your hand. So as a hitter, you don't know because you felt it hit the bat and it nicks off of your knuckle a little bit, and then you're like, well, I think it's part of the bat. So it's one of those. I've always wondered that one, how an umpire can call that so well.
Well, maybe you need J.D. Drew's laser vision.
Yeah.
2-2. Buckles Rosario for strike 3 called. And the inning is over, but not before home run number 2 on day number 2. Brought to you by John Deere. There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere. The spring training complex in Fort Myers, Florida. And the Red Sox in action for the second day in a row. Today hosting their AL East foe, the Tampa Bay Rays. And now a 3-3 game as we head to the 5th. Caleb Ort came on in the 4th, and now Durbin Feltman takes over in the 5th inning, ready to face 9-1-2 for Tampa. He's an arm that Red Sox fans certainly know. There was a lot of buzz a few years back about Feltman because 2018 he was a 3rd-round pick and one of the great college baseball relievers. And a lot of folks wondered how quickly he would climb up the Red Sox system. Went up to Worcester in the second half of last season. AAA club, of course, and the Red Sox organization. Non-roster invite. He was left off of the 40-man roster. And there's no Rule 5 draft this year.
Yeah, that's an interesting one for a lot of clubs because a lot of clubs love that Rule 5 pick.
First pitch breaking ball misses to Esteban Quiroz. A lot of players do too. I mean, it can change a career.
For sure.
Saw that with Garrett Whitlock last year, and our own Lenny DiNardo, of course.
The Lennox.
You guys were rookies together, right?
That was the year when he got Rule 5. He was a rookie that year. I came up a little bit later in May. But yeah, we were rookies, and man, there's a lot of stories we can't tell on air.
Stick around for After Hours with Uke. Trickler to short on the charge. Strong throw to get Quiroz for the first down.
Don't miss a Red Sox game this season. Download the NESN Red Sox calendar into your desktop, web, or mobile calendar. Get game time information, previews, ticket info, and more. Visit NESN.com/schedule today.
So you saw, of course, the day done for Xander Bogaerts after 4 innings. And after 2 ABs, that was Ceddanne Rafaela at short. Back to the top, this is still Taylor Walls, who has struck out and grounded out both times against Nate Eovaldi.
Yeah, that was an impressive throw to first base. I mean, he took his time on that ball that he came in on a little cue shot and threw an absolute. That thing looked like it was 100 miles per hour to first.
This is to second. Arroyo, 2 down. Yeah, you mentioned Rafaela, who took over for Bogaerts at short. Again, 21-year-old from Curacao, who we saw in center yesterday. Alex Spear, the great Alex Spear, has said that Rafaela is maybe the best defensive player in the Red Sox minor league system.
Judging by that throw, there's a lot of things that can happen. When you have that great arm, I mean, you get away with a lot of stuff and you get to a lot of plays.
Ball 1 to Josh Lowe at an RBI single as last time that he floated into right. Low in on the hands. Lifts it to center. Jackie Bradley Jr. puts it away. And a 1-2-3. Top of the 5th for Durbin Feltman. Nothing runs like a deer. BuyAToyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit BuyAToyota.com. And by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. We're always here to get you there. JetBlue Park is the site. We are halfway through in Fort Myers with the Rays and Red Sox tied at 3 on the strength of a 3-run home run from Bobby Dahlbeck. One of our newest NESN teammates, Will Middlebrooks. He chimed in on Twitter. Bobby Boom.
Bobby Boom. I heard on the mic yesterday, Bobby Bombs.
You hear that?
I heard that one yesterday.
Eck and the great Jerry Remy. We're always thinking of. They loved a good Bobby D for him. 9-1-2 for the Sox, starting with Cole Cotton, catcher. Rolls the first pitch to third, and Vidal Brujan throws out Cotton. Long stretch by Gray, 1 down. Your pitcher in for Tampa is Dustin Knight.
Not sure if I'm a big fan of Bobby and then just an initial at the last name.
You want a little more length?
Yeah.
Bobby Boom.
Yeah, and nicknames used to be amazing. How do we lose nicknames?
You're not the guy to ask. I mean, yours has stuck with you.
Yeah.
Probably forever.
Mine's easy, though. But there used to be, like, old school baseball guys had really cool nicknames. I mean, I'm talking early 1900s. And
Scrappy Jones in short.
Oh, I mean, just awesome nicknames. We got to get back on that.
And there's always someone, if not multiple guys in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Who can dish them out.
It's too easy with the Ukes, the Fitzies, the JBJ. We gotta get some guys on the nicknames.
Mordecai Three Fingers Brown.
Ooh.
Back in the day. 2-0 to Jackie. It's outside from Dustin Knight.
All right, 3-0's been a green light here in spring training, and yesterday it was. Let's see if today we got the green light on 3-0.
Knight comes home. Jackie didn't have it or didn't want it.
So the Mordecai Brown, right? That shows where you're from. Is that correct?
Good question.
It's the Chicago Cubs, right?
A little before my time. It's a 5-pitch walk, and Bradley reaches. Hey, the Red Sox are excited to welcome you back to Fenway Park. Tickets for April and May games available now. Visit redsox.com/tickets to purchase. A full-length official name, by the way, Mordecai Peter Centennial Brown.
There you go. I had to look it up if he's a Cub. I think I remember seeing him on the wall.
Well, tweet us your best baseball nickname. Seriously, we'd love to hear them. We need more ammo.
For sure. Tweet at Mike.
Oh, they won't.
I know.
You won't see him, right?
I think I still have my handle.
Yeah, it's at Greek God of Hops. You're working on an incredible total of 8 career tweets.
Yeah, I think I just deleted everything and just said, hey, I'm done. I'm out.
Jonathan Arauz, the batter here in the spot of Christian Arroyo, who singled twice in his 2 trips. Yeah, you tapped out. Instagram only. Big cut and a miss from Arauz.
Yeah, it speaks to your age when you're on the. Oh, good. Yeah, it's a nasty pitch here, down and in. Just took off on him. Big swing. Guy's gonna shorten up here with 2. Let's find a gap.
Floats a little bit low.
Good pitch right there. Little front door action. Came back over, but luckily the ball stayed below the knees.
That's the changeup from Knight. It's the pitch he throws the most, even more than his four-seam fastball. Gets Arauz swinging. 2 down.
Yeah, he utilizes it really well. Mixes it up there. Tough pitches. This one just had a little bite going in, you know, so he utilized it twice. One going in, one coming back over with the front door. And it's, I mean, when you double up on pitches that are going left and right in the same direction, it's not easy for a hitter to see that. A little late.
Yeah. Brings up Jeter Downs. Well, you're not on Twitter to see it, so we do have some submissions already. Cormac has chimed in with a one close to Red Sox Nation. Oil Can Boyd.
Oil Can, that's a great one.
Joey likes the Panda, Big Hurt. Sandman, kind of sacrilege to say it, but we'll allow it. Joey. Wave and a miss, 0-2.
Changeup's working well for Knight today. Jeter looking out there like, oh man, I'm not seeing that well. Don't worry,
cold. Come in cold and face that.
Yeah, Jeter, don't worry, we've all been there.
Mike Narachi submits. Bill Lee, of course, spaceman.
Yeah, you had like Charlie Hustle with Pete Rose, but that wasn't the thing with Pete. That was kind of a negative, right? Like if I recall, I need to get somebody on that but then just stuck the Charlie Hustle.
And certainly became the identity.
Yeah, Cincinnati kids. I mean, that's what you looked at in the era that I was born. I mean, everyone, you had to play like Pete Rose. You had to play hard, or yeah, your dads weren't having it. Ooh.
Curveball strikes out Jeter Downs, and it ends the 5th inning.
Your favorite device. Stream live games to get the content you love anytime, anywhere. All included with a participating TV provider. Available on iOS, Android, Apple TV, and Roku.
All right, to the 6th inning. We had at JetBlue Park in a 3-3 game, Sox and Rays at Fenway South. New pitcher on for the Red Sox. Irvin Feltman comes on, worked a 1-2-3 fifth, and now Brian Keller got selected in the minor league portion of the Rule 5 drafts. And it did happen back in December from the Yankees AA roster, non-roster invite here to big league spring training. Let's go down to Jemai. He's with Jackie Bradley.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Here with JBJ. First spring training action for you on the big field here in a game. How do you characterize your day overall?
It's good. It's always good to get your feet wet a little bit, get some competition going, and it's the start.
How much of a benefit was it for you to be able to see a couple different pitchers today?
It's huge. Obviously, you want to get timing down for the season, and I got to see at least 3 or 4 different pitches, so anytime you can see that early, it's only going to help you down the road.
With that being said, came in here on what, Sunday? Guys had an unofficial workout on Monday. Here you are about 5 days later now. How do you characterize the process towards being opening day ready for you? How are you feeling about that?
Feel good. We all came here prepared. I think that's, I guess credit to a lot of the guys here. We stayed ready so we didn't have to get ready. And obviously we're getting into games now and some live action. So that's beneficial, and we're excited to get going.
It's well documented. You were at Mookie's wedding when you heard about the news of the trade, but how did that work out for you, considering how the offseason went and there was about 3 months' time where you didn't hear from anybody?
Yeah, it was a crazy time. It all happened so fast, and the lockout happened, so we didn't even have time to really focus on it. And then, we just kind of stayed in the off season and tried to stay ready.
Now, you've worked with a great group of outfielders during your time, your career as a professional ball player. How are you feeling, and how excited are you about the potential about working with these guys?
I love it. Very talented guys, and I'm excited to get out there with them.
You've had 8+ years in the organization, not counting your 1 year away in Milwaukee. But what's the best part about being back here with the Red Sox?
Everything. We got a lot of guys who are motivated here, and I think we had a good team obviously last year, and I think we're excited to see the potential that this team has.
All right, Jackie, thanks for the time. Appreciate you stopping by with us.
Thanks, Mama.
All right, Mike, back over to you. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s day looks like it's over for now. He'll be back tomorrow.
All right, guys, good stuff. And you heard Jemine mention it, and it has become a fun little background on the trade going down from Jackie Bradley Jr.'s perspective. But if you haven't heard it, he was at Mookie Betts' wedding in Los Angeles, and there were no phones allowed to be used during the wedding. And so there was a designated area where you could be on the phone as this one drops down and foul ground. And so Jackie out on the West Coast, it's late East Coast time. He happens to come out, call his wife, check on the kids, hangs up, and he says 5 seconds later he gets a call from Brewers exec David Stearns to tell him he was traded. So there's Jackie Bradley Jr. at Mookie Betts' wedding, where JD Martinez was practically right next to him. And JBJ finds out he's coming back to the Sox.
Yeah, no better place than an open bar to celebrate.
That's strike 3 called. And Brian Keller's got back-to-back Ks. Got Brujan swinging and Rene Pinto looking.
Yeah, this is a great pitch right here. Just paints it on that outside corner for strike 3. Yeah, it's always a good thing that no phones at a wedding. They have those new bags. I think Dave Chappelle was one that, like, you couldn't get into the comedy show. You got to put it in this zip-up bag.
Yep.
I love that. Where people are paying attention in the moment. Hey, you're going to be fine for about 2 hours.
I went to watch Kevin Hart once, and, I mean, the ushers, or heck, you could call them security, monitoring that, they're militant about it.
And it's funny, too. The time passes so quick, and you realize everything's okay. I don't need my phone on me.
We'll live.
We will.
Yuke survives. That's a fly out to left from Jake Palomaki, and it's a 1-2-3-6 for Brian Keller. 6 on the way. Sox and Rays.
Ready at all times with the glove on, just in case.
This is David McKay. Comes on to pitch for Tampa's numbers from 2019 between the Tigers and Mariners. By the way, we've got some more nickname submissions. Let's start with our teammate, Lenny DiNardo, who has chimed in via text message, group message. He says Gabe Kapler coined Leonardo Eduardo DiNardo. And at some point, Trot Nixon added a Ricardo.
He did.
I like you calling him Lennox just fine.
The Lennox. The Lennox. By the way, I think we need to get Trot Nixon to do a game this year. If we can invite him in for a 3-man crew, I think we need to get Trot Nixon. Red Sox Nation would love to have Trot Nixon in the booth.
So I'll blindly, say yes to that just because I'm interested. It is my call, of course. But why is it? What makes him great for the people who don't know him as well as you do?
Oh, what's not to, the intensity of Trot? I mean, the best part about Trot was he was our chapel leader for the team, but he was also the guy yelling, from the dugout, and just super competitive, but just the all-around guy you want on your team day in and day out to play with. He took all my one time when I was younger, I'll never forget this, was so there's all these hangers. You have all these metal hangers from all the dry cleaning I think they do with the jerseys, and all of a sudden I have all these hangers all over my locker because Trot has too many, so he puts it all in my locker. Well, then I go and great swing right there.
Sadati Rafaela with a line drive single into right to start the 6th.
Loving this. So what happened was I decided to go take all of the hangers and just all over his locker, in just a way where you can't even get in your locker. Well, Trot didn't think that was too funny, so Trot decided that he was going to take. He took all of my gear, shirts, jerseys, picks it up, and throws it in the hot tub. Luckily, I had something on to wear out for spring for BP.
For everyone's sake.
But oh man, I'll tell you, fun teammate to play with.
That's awesome.
Clubbies probably didn't like that too much.
Yeah, no, that's extra work.
Yeah.
Make it up in your tip.
Yeah. Trot took care of him.
I was calling a college baseball game a few weeks ago. NC State, really good college baseball program. And who's on the team but Trot's son, Chase. And he comes off the bench, climbs into the left-hand box as Christian Koss singles into left. And the Sox have 2 on here in the 6th in a 3-3 game with nobody out. And Trot Nixon's kid, Chase, has the exact same stance in the left-hand box.
Gotta love it. Pass it on. Good swing right there, too. Koss had a tough day yesterday. Had, not swinging the bat great. Good to see him back. Get a base hit right there. Get some confidence going. Pulls the hands in right there. Nice job getting the head out. Woo. That will get you going this spring.
So first 2 on here against David McKay. And it brings up Hudson Potts. Breaking ball misses. A lot of folks on Twitter chiming in that you cannot forget El Guapo.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That was the first nickname I think, as far as Red Sox players go, that I fell in love with as a kid. How could you not love Rich Garces being El Guapo?
That was a good one. There was then you had the El Duque and El Duquecito. Those were interesting ones.
You hear El Duque and you think that leg kick.
Leg kick. And oof, nightmares. Split fingers.
Wow. Potts off the end of the bat. McKay will get the sure thing. 1 down as Rafaela and Koss are both in scoring position.
Hey, the unconventional way of getting him over right there. A little swing and bunt. Not what you're trying to do, but good results. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Getting your teammate in position and driving some runs.
Brings up Tyler Esplin, one of the minor leaguers who has come over to the big league side today, providing some depth here in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's got an opportunity in front of him. The score tied 3-3. Breaking ball for a land strike from McKay.
Any relation to Dave McKay? Got a Dave McKay and a David McKay.
The Uke research team is on it.
The coach, Dave McKay. Base running guru.
Bouncer over the mound against the drawn-in infield. Rafael is safe. And the Sox take the lead.
We will take that right there. Great aggressive. We're running on contact. Great read. Off the bat, he's running hard from 3rd base. Throw a little bit up the line. Catcher tries to reach for it. Great slide right there. Getting to the outside, utilizing your hand out.
Something Dave McKay would love.
Right, Rafaela, man. This kid is impressive right now. Having a hell of a day out there.
We told you about the athleticism, the defense as well. And bolting for the plate. And now the Red Sox lead 4-3 in the 6th. Oh, and 1 on Izzy Wilson. in the 8th spot in the Red Sox lineup. Time called before the 0-1. So we got to get Trout on board. You're in charge of recruitment.
Yes, I'm definitely going to have to bring him up from North Carolina.
Of course, the Rocket.
Yeah, Roger. The English version of Big Papi was always fun. We called him the Large Father.
Strike 3 called. Wilson goes down. We're out number 2.
Yeah, just a fastball at the top of the zone. Stays up there. Caught him looking. A lot of prize off of that that cutter or slider he was throwing inside that Wilson missed there on the pitch before that. You know, sometimes you cheat in or you're looking for a different pitch right there, trying to repeat it. Caught him looking with the fastball.
To the 9th spot, Cole Cottom. Swings through the breaking ball from McKay. Speaking of the Large Father, when our teammate and everyone's teammate Jerry Remy passed away in October, David Ortiz said, "Thank you for calling me Big Papi on air." He said, "I'll never forget that." And that's a story that Jerry had told before. Big Papi had talked about too. Cottom pops out to end the inning. So the Sox get 1, and the Large Father's old team has the lead. This is Xfinity X-Fi. Can your internet do that? 3-run shot from Bobby D.
Definitely gonna have to.
We got a Bobby Bastia
Yeah.
submission for Bobby is Monster Moonshots.
Ooh.
But you can do whatever you want. You're you. No one cares what I think.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
you needed my blessing.
I'm super excited for that blessing. I was worried here this whole time.
You weren't going to be able to.
Just spitzing here on air.
Yeah.
Worried this whole. For those that don't know what spitzing is, that is, I guess we could say it's Yiddish or Hebrew for sweating. Kevin Spitz Euclid. I could be the great Spitz.
Some of the nicknames that Terry Francona gave you, it sounds like unrepeatable.
Yeah, it's not the right time to give one of them, but Tito was one of the best at giving nicknames to players. I mean, it was a pleasure playing with him for many different reasons, but keeping it light, keeping it fun, he had a great job of doing that.
Cameron Meisner is the batter here, batting for the first time in the 7th against Brian Keller. Through 10 pitches in 6th inning. So Keller, of course, from the Yankees minor league system, we said in the AAA phase of the Rule 5 draft. So a little bit different from how the Red Sox got Garrett Whitlock, but similar idea with the Red Sox poaching some Yankees farmhands, and it couldn't have gone any better than how it did for Garrett Whitlock last year.
Yeah, great job. I mean, just from spring training, when watching the ball come out of his hand, it just looked different. You know, as a hitter, you watch the videos and you're like, wow, this ball's straight, but it's by guys. And so out of his hand, it doesn't look like much, but it looks like it just gets on hitters. And it was just super impressive to watch him work last year. And you know, coming into Fenway Park, you know, as a Rule 5 draft is not an easy thing. He did an amazing job and was a huge part of the success of the team down the stretch. And he's going to do a lot of great things this year, hopefully.
And the plan with him and with Tanner Houck is get him stretched out and then sort of see from there how it goes with this Red Sox pitching staff. So Meisner gets on. And now to the 7 spot.
Oh.
And a hit batter on the first pitch. Nico Holsizer is hit by the pitch from Keller. Or not.
I think I'm more confused than Keller. To hit the bat? No, hit him in the head. He says, no, I want to hit. Big fan of Nico Holsizer. Already, he just took one off the dome and said, nope. Oh, wait, maybe, did it hit the bat? Huh. Well, it says spring training. Time to hit. Not time to get on base and run.
All right, we're hitting. 1-0. Curls to the edge.
Yep. No, that hit him right in the head. Well, I'll tell you this. He's got the dreads, so he might not have felt it.
I don't know if that's how it
There's
works.
a lot of padding there. I don't know. Being bald, I would have felt it.
He pops that one up, Phil.
Or maybe the helmets are just that good now.
Yes.
Let's hope.
I think of Trot with pounds of pine tar just caked on it.
Oh yeah, Trot, Manny. I did it too. It was just one of those things where you could put your hand on your helmet real quick just to get some sticky stuff, especially in those, like playing in Texas in the summer. You just get super, you're soaked, and you get a little bit out in your hands, and you got a little pine tar up there that you can in your bat.
Keller comes inside with a fastball for his 3rd strikeout among the 5 he's faced. There's one away here in the 7th.
Yeah, not getting cheated on that swing. I mean, after getting hit in the head, you're trying to hit a homer, and Holsizer, tough one right there. Good pitch by Keller up and in.
So 1 away. Meisner still at first after his leadoff walk. With the Red Sox in front 4-3 in the 7th.
Great thing you see early on in spring too with the young players is they don't get cheated when they come up to bat. Edwards right there with a huge cut.
Up and away, 1-1. I got a kick out of you saying you had a offensive lineman number, and a middle linebacker number. Working your way toward 20.
Yeah, that's the goal. When you get into spring training, you start out at defensive ends, get those 90s, but it's different now. NFL players can wear whatever they want now. It gets a little tricky, but old school NFL numbers where the 90s, and then you get down to the wide receivers, then the offensive linemen, maybe pushing to the offensive guards in the 60s. Then you're getting the linebackers, and once you get in that linebacker territory in spring training, as a young player, you're on the steps. You're ready.
Kind of miss. 2-2 on Evan Edwards. Speaking of jersey numbers, by the way, you mentioned Garrett Whitlock. The news yesterday, he's going from number 72 to number 22.
It's a big step.
And there's a reason for it. Keller's 2-2. Full count. So Garrett Whitlock, turns out, his favorite pitcher growing up, Rick Porcello. He told Chad Jennings in The Athletic last year that by far his favorite pitcher, and he didn't feel comfortable wearing 22 if it got to that point this season. Certainly without the blessing of Rick Porcello, which he now has.
Interesting that he asked for the blessing.
It's the type of guy Garrett Whitlock is, by all accounts.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So do I need to call Jeter? Do Jeter and I need to talk?
I think it's a little late. He's got 20 at the bottom of your screen.
Somebody needs to wear that number. I love it. If you're not good enough to get it retired, you can't complain if somebody else wears it.
That's a good rule. As Edwards walks, Keller has put 2 on with free passes here in the 7th. A couple of base runners for the Rays. Go now to the 9th spot in this Tampa lineup where Esteban Quiroz was to start the game. He did some damage with an RBI double in the 3rd. I believe this is Ford Proctor. Yep. First pitch swinging, to your point.
They're coming out.
So yeah, you'll see Whitlock in 22.
All right.
And not 72.
The deuce. I thought it was for 22-ounce craft beer specials.
Oh, always the salesman.
Bottles. The bottles. Yeah. The 22-ounce bottles.
The deuce.
The deuces.
It's going to be fun to watch what he does for an encore. Can say the same about Tanner Houck. Two guys who close as can be as teammates and friends. And as rookie righties last year, they were fun to watch.
Yeah, they're both got a bright future ahead of them. The way they go about it. Tanner Houck and that slider. Ooh, as a righty, I'm like, thank God I'm retired.
0-2.
Just beats him right there with that. Good pitch.
Keller about to throw his 30th pitch across 2 innings. Calls time with Eli Marrero, his new catcher. With 1 out, 2 on in the 7th. Keller's 0-2 inside. Talking about Houck. We'll see what the splitter looks like. Going to be a huge pitch for him against lefties.
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, you got 2 great pitches, the slider, but that slider coming into the lefties is a lot. It's not an easy pitch the way he throws it in any ways to hit it, but
Proctor in the air toward the wall, in left, and gone. 3-run shot from Ford Proctor. And the Rays vault in front in the 7th.
yeah, just great piece of hitting right here, going with it. Ball fading out, and he stays through it. And man, can't tell that, using that wind too, right to left, that ball just jets out to left. Ooh. He knew it when he hit it.
Yeah.
Off the bat, I didn't know if that was going to go out. The way it faded away from him, I didn't know if he got enough barrel on it. But, man, he got enough barrel and got it out of here.
And look who it is, your guy.
Pedro. Petey. Oh, wait. That's not Pedro Martinez. He's hitting left-handed and everything. From a different country, too.
Yes, from Venezuela. You were scouring the travel roster for the Rays. You said Pedro Martinez. I said, who?
When I see Pedro Martinez, it always gets me excited to say, oh, hey. One of the pleasures of playing with amazing players in the time I got to play in Boston. Pedro was one of them. Just unbelievable. Just to sit there and watch what he did, and he was good to me, and just super appreciative of it.
What was it like watching him work?
The best one was in spring training. I'll never forget. It was like one of my first spring trainings. I'm a young player. I'm just trying not to screw up. And I got to face Pedro in live BP.
This is rolled up the middle, and Jeter Downs throws out Pedro. So you faced him in live BP.
Faced him in live BP, and he takes it easy in spring training. But what I realized was he had pinpoint control beyond pinpoint control. he was like, fastball away, boom, boom, 2-seam. I was like, whoa. And he's like, throw the curveball and and then, so I face him in live, come inside, and no one's talking to me because I'm so young and no one cares who I am. All of a sudden, the media comes to my locker. I'm like, whoa, what did I do? What happened? And they're like, hey, so tell us how Pedro did. And they're like, what do you think? And I was like, he looked great. He's Pedro.
He was all right.
Yeah. I was like, it's Pedro. He's the greatest pitcher in the game. So I'll never forget that one, where it was my first time actually like dealing with the media in some way, the Boston media, and wanting to know how good Pedro looked. I was like, he looked good. The ball was moving well, had super command of his pitches, and it was just it was like such an honor like to face him in that time.
For sure.
So it was a memorable moment that I always like take back for the rest of my life. And I didn't get to face him much until like I faced him, I think, with the Mets. So when he wasn't throwing 95 with movement.
Still pretty darn good.
Still good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Go straight to the source to figure out how he looked.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I mean, he was just super remarkable in the way he went about it. And one of the best stories I have though was when when I got called up. We were in Colorado. I forget who we were facing, but I think I left like 10 runners on base in the scoring position. Grounded into 2 double play. It was the worst game of my life. This is 04. Next thing you know, I come in the locker room, same thing. Boston media's coming over. I'm a young player, it's like second week in the big leagues or whatever, I forget. And I'm like, oh God, I got to answer all these questions. And all of a sudden I hear, hey, you don't talk to the rookie, you talk to me. And all of a sudden the media turns around and it's Pedro yelling. And all of a sudden it's like the parting of the Red Sea. All of the media like leaves my locker, and Pedro just gives me a look, and he's like, he shakes his head, and I'm like, thank you.
That's pretty cool.
So it was really cool how he picked me up. First at bat, the next day I hit a home run.
Wow.
Off Jennings. And I'll never forget that, how much confidence that gave me as a player and how inspirational you can be as a veteran player. And he did an amazing job. And that moment in my career, it doesn't define you like the first couple weeks, but a veteran helped me through that and dealing with a tough time.
Sure.
And I'll never forget that game. I think that was probably one of my worst games ever.
That's amazing.
Yeah, really cool. So, and the El Presidente's, fresh and Dominican, were always great too.
Yeah. And we had a pitching change at JetBlue Park. Yohan Martinez takes over here in the 7th. It is really cool to hear when stuff gets passed down like that, from veteran guy looking out for newcomer, and then 10 years later you're in a similar role in the clubhouse, and there's different guys coming, and it's the next wave, the next generation.
Yeah, and it's tough. Playing in Boston is it's a tough place to play for many different reasons, and I say it's a tough place to play if you're not accountable too. You got to be very accountable as a player, and you got to be able to not let it get to you. So I think coming up in the system helps a lot. When you got young players, especially now that we're, in Portland, Maine, and now Worcester, and not Pawtucket, but those areas allow you to get with the fan base, understand the fan base, the pride that comes with being a Red Sox player. And I think that's the hard part too. When you get traded to Boston, you're not ready for it. So I always say, man, those homegrown players, you get a really, really good look into the future of what life's going to be.
It's great stuff. As Cal Stevenson grounds out to Tyreek Reed to end the top of the 7th, with the Sox now down Myers. Red Sox down 6-4 to Tampa. Kevin Youkilis, Jemai Webster, Mike Monaco, our entire Nesson crew with you. And the Red Sox coming up in game number 2 of spring training. And we have found the game you were referring to. Thank you to Baseball Reference. Don't mean to rub it in, but
oh, it's great.
This is in Colorado, June 15, 2004. You're in the 7th spot in the lineup. You're batting between Veritek and Kapler. Second inning, bases loaded, double play ball. Third inning, bases loaded, ground out to second.
Yep.
Bases loaded, top of the 5th, and a ground out. Leading off in the 8th. And a roller to third. And 3 for 4 the next day, a home run and a walk in Colorado.
Yeah, the air was heavy the day before. That's why that happened. The next day the air was super light. The ball was flying.
with an assist to Pedro Martinez.
Ooh, good swing.
Adrian DeHorta is the new pitcher. He comes on, and that was a good cut, like you said, from Tyreek Reed. Second year in the Rays system for the right-hander, who has started some, pitched primarily out of the bullpen last year between both AA and, as you see, AAA as well. Reed chops this to third. One away. So with one down, base is empty for Jonathan Arauz. Struck out swinging his first time.
Arauz. I got to get used to that one.
He and Chris Mazza were a couple of guys. Spring training 2020. Had to make a beeline for them in the clubhouse and say, guys, please do it for me.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce your name? Because with Mazza, I was going to go Mazza.
Because you drive a Maserati. That's a pro move, though. You know, you go up, break the ice.
Arauz bounces this one off the glove of Edwards, and he reaches here in the seventh.
Yeah, just get me around. He tried to charge this ball. You know, the interesting part about that as a first baseman is you got time. So at third base, I say charge that one. That one you could try to play into a longer hop. You know, the pitcher's getting over. But yeah, it's a hard one there too because you're trying to attack it and make the play yourself. But good thing for a first baseman is you got time. So play it into the second hop.
Swinging strike one on Jeter Downs. He was talking to Rob Bradford after the game yesterday, and the way Jeter Downs spoke about his offseason, he put in a ton of work. He said he went to a different level with all of his offseason work. And he said yesterday was the most he felt like he was prepared to go out and play at that level. And Alex Cora had talked about it pregame yesterday as well, saying he's a different guy. And it wasn't the best year offensively for him. We know that, but did a good job defensively. He's got a different body now and a different swing. Lays off.
Yeah, good take right there on an 0-2 pitch. That's a tough take right there. A lot of times when you see that pitch up like that, and now more than ever, you're getting four seamers up in that zone. Laying off that pitch leads to good results sometimes here, because he might throw another slider here down the dirt, maybe take it to get to 2-2, or you're ready to hit this slider. It might repeat.
Lay it off.
Lay it off.
It's like you know what you're doing.
The interesting part about hitting that, a lot of people don't talk about it, a lot of people don't show. You won't see this on Instagram videos all over youth baseball. Takes are just as important sometimes of an at-bat than a swing. So many guys are focusing on swings. The takes are just as big.
Swing and a miss. And Downs strikes out against the DeHorta fastball.
Yeah, good heater here. Went by him. You know, the timing's still just not there a little bit. Just a little late on that fastball. But, you know, all the offseason work and all that stuff, you know, part of it is getting into the game mode, and it's not easy. So, you know, Jeter's got to keep working at it, and just he'll get to that fastball here before you know it.
So 2 down. Still a man at first for Ceddanne Rafaela. Takes ball 1.
And that's the difference right there with Rafael. Like when you talk about being aggressive, like that's a selectively aggressive take right there. He's ready to hit, recognizes it, and then holds up.
Bouncer to short, and Martinez goes the short way to second to end the inning. Sox down 2 after 7.
Trailing the Tampa Bay Rays 6-4 here in the top of the 8th inning. Nathan Eovaldi's day done after 3 innings, and shortly ago he spoke in the clubhouse about how his day went. It was mainly focused on getting the work in.
I felt good. You know, I came in wanting to work on my slider. You know, I felt like it was inconsistent today. I wanted to try to get it going, back foot to lefties and everything, but the first 2 innings felt really good. I mean, even the last inning, I tried to quick pitch a fastball down and away, and he was able to get the bat out, double. So that was close play at second. I think I got the next out, and then I thought I located a really good splitter. He went down there and got it, drove it off the wall. But overall, I felt really good today. You know, I felt like I might have been a little quick at times, but overall, my arm felt good. I threw all 5 of my pitches. Slider and cutter were a little inconsistent, but everything else felt really good.
So now Nate will get about 3 more starts here in spring training. Alex Cora already said that he's slated to be the opening day starter April 7th in the Bronx against the Yankees. And he'll be doing that for the 3rd straight year as the Red Sox opening day starter. Mike?
Yeah, good stuff, Jemai. And Nate, you heard him talking about that last inning, the third. Bottom third Rays lineup. 2 strike, double the other way. He did get the next out, like he was saying, and then a splitter that he felt like was a pretty good one to the 9-hole hitter. But as Jemai said about getting the work in, and he's on track to go every 5th day leading into opening day in the Bronx.
Yeah, it looked good. I thought the same thing. I mean, a good self-evaluation right there from Nate. I think he threw the ball well. And you're just looking to see the sharpness on pitches, in my opinion, and location of fastballs. You know, the quick pitch and stuff like that. That's something you don't practice. I mean, I guess you practice a little bit during the offseason, but until you get on that mound and face hitters, it's not easy. So, good first outing, a lot to build on, and I thought his curveball looked really, really good today.
3 innings of work, 3 strikeouts, no walks, which has come to be the norm for Nate Eovaldi. Sox now down by 2, 8th inning. This is Silvino Bracho, who just got a ground out from Jim Haley to start this inning. Now facing Rene Pinto. Bracho, another non-roster invite. See what he did last year with AAA Sacramento. Sky to right side, short right. And Wilson makes the call and the catch, 2 down. There's the scorebook.
Scorebook's good. Yeah, a lot easier today. You know, when you get the lineup and it stays the lineup right before the game, it's a lot easier. When one guy's not out of the lineup and the whole lineup gets screwed up, it's a lot better.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Brings up Jake Palomaki, the pride of Boston College.
Yes,
Played there for a guy you know well, Mike Gambino.
yes. Bino. Easy nickname.
Leo.
It's a part of, we gotta work on nicknames. But yeah, no, great friend of mine that I played minor league ball with. First year in Lowell. I'll tell you, we had a lot of good times, and really proud of all the work that Mike's put in at Boston College. Done a phenomenal job there. Built just an unbelievable facility now, the Pete Frady Center. Just a special place, and a lot of talent that's come out of Boston College.
As recently as just last year, draft last summer. They had 3 guys going into last season on the roster who were potential first rounders. Sal Frelick was very high draft pick of the Brewers. He is an outstanding center fielder. Cody Morissette, really good third base, second base guy.
Yeah, it's a character building school. If you think about it, being in the ACC and the cold weather and having to adapt, and it's amazing how many guys have come out of it. But you know, the scrappiness is the key in a lot of ways. Oh, wow. I don't even know if we call that a hesitation. That was almost like he got tasered. I'm going to call that the taser. Oh, God.
So it's not a hesitation piece.
No, that's the tased. That's where you get a little shock. Just a little shock, and then deliver.
Palamaki on a hop into center. 2-out base hit. It's not Rob Riggle with the taser gun.
Yeah, that was a lot of movement in between. Good piece of hitting right here. Keeps the hands in, ball in, just fights it into center field.
So Palamaki with a hit here in the 8th inning, raised by 2. Brings up Meisner.
Yeah, that's the one thing. We're always talking about exit velo, but on balls like that, it's not a lot of exit velo on that.
Get the job done.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you don't want that exit velo. Like I said, you get that little ball that falls in on a slider, you're hooking. You know, you hit it a little too hard, a little more exit velo, the ball goes to the outfielder. So it's kind of fun about like trying to dissect those analytics when you look into certain hits that happen throughout the games.
They come in all shapes and sizes, right?
They do. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to get that, you know, that launch angle and exit velo at the high 90s, the hundreds, and the ball's at the right speed. We know that's a homer. But these at bats are also character at bats in a lot of ways too, because you get on base, you're finding a way to do it, and sometimes you're not taking the A swing. You know, there's a lot of swings throughout a season that you take. You have your A swings, your B swings, C swings. I don't know how many letters there are of swings, but good hitters find a way.
Quicker tempo, normally through the windup there for Bracho for a called strike.
Let's say we're going to need to see the Tays again.
Yeah, bring it out. I love watching Johnny Cueto.
Oh, it's the best.
And what he does, I mean, that is art.
It works. A lot of it, you know, the game is about keeping hitters off balance, plain and simple. You know, if you're going to throw, you know, I don't care if you throw 100 miles per hour, guys are going to catch up to it eventually at this level. You know, they've seen it enough. They're going to turn it around.
Deception, timing, all those things. I always think of Omar Dahl.
Omar Dahl, wow, throw it back. Bracho might be winning the beard game right now.
It's robust. Here comes his 1-1 to Cam Meisner with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Up and away.
It'd be interesting to sit down with Johnny Cueto and explain each time why he does it to a certain hitter. Is it the hitters? It's a pitch? Is it planned? Is it not planned?
For those unfamiliar, it has come to be known as the shimmy that Johnny Cueto does. I mean, it's really a shimmy, like mid-windup from him.
Not like the Jack Parkman shimmy. Total different shimmy.
2-2, a fastball up and in from the bearded Bracho.
Oh, I like that. Wow. That sounds like a cocktail drink. The bearded Bracho. Bartender, we'll take 2.
You were hungry yesterday, thirsty today in the late innings.
Yes.
2 outs, runner at first. Bracho ready, the 2-2 is rolled foul.
It's a whole different St. Patty's when you're 43 years old.
And when you're working.
Yeah, working, 43, 3 kids. St. Patty's is not as fun as it used to be.
Worth noting, however, the first win for your 9- and 10-year-old team came when you were not there. Can you confirm?
That is a fact. I will confirm it. One of the moms texted on the group text that they totally miss you, try to make me feel good. And I said, I feel great that they just got a W. It's not the coaching, it's the players. They got to put it together.
And that is a great changeup from Silvino Bracho, beard and all, to leave a man in the 8th inning. And the Sox have 6 outs left to play with, trying to get those 2 or perhaps more. After a 1-0 start to Grapefruit League action yesterday with a 14-1 win over the Twins.
Gotta love the ushers. a JetBlue party. Getting into it. I still remember they do it every year. They're super proud of all the work they put in, and they're dancing in between innings. Gotta love it.
Some of the biggest Sox fans you'll find.
Yes.
And just kind-hearted as can be.
I said I'm moving to Fort Myers. I'm going to be the usher.
Strike one to Christian Koss, batting here against Adrian DeHorta. Koss singled his first time a couple innings ago. If you're just flipping around and landed on this, the Red Sox had 6 regulars in the starting 9. Jackie Bradley Jr., Christian Arroyo, Devers, Bogarts, Dahlbeck, who homered again, and Kevin Plawecki for about the first half of the game. And Nate Eovaldi was the starting pitcher and went the first 3. Koss in the air to left field, and Christian Koss has gone deep. It's a 1-run ball game.
Got a pitch up in the zone. This is Bobby Dahlbeck asked of yesterday. Same type of swing. Great job. And at the end of the play, we got a look at this souvenir right here. What a catch. Oh, we missed it.
It looked like the fan up there was tracking it the entire way. And Alex Cora and company, they loved it. It's like yes or no when you're sitting around BP. Up high to Hudson Potts.
There's nothing more fun than watching the young guys or guys that are trying to make an impression have success in spring training. You'll see those facial expressions from the coaches more than anyone because they're working with these players day in and day out for a long period of time in the mornings.
And how about the catch?
We got a catch.
Oh. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Where's he going to go with it? Wait, where's the high five? Oh, there's one.
Oh, on video.
Knuckles. Go.
Send us the video from that angle.
See that. Oh, now I got to put it. Oh, he's putting it on the gram for all of his friends. Look at this. Oh my God.
Great shirt, by the way.
Field of Dreams. Is that the Bandits? Is that the River Bandits hat?
It might be.
Smile. You're on camera.
Guy in the golf shirt definitely got a text.
I'm not going to lie to you. As someone that has a niece at UCLA, that shirt like fools me every time. But that's that B that is from last year's the marathon jersey, right?
The yellow unis that they were hot as could be for a while.
Yeah.
Pot strikes out, first out here in the 8th. By the way, Christian Koss, who homered, guy who went to UC Irvine, was drafted by the Rockies about 2.5 years ago, and the Red Sox made a little shrewd, roster management move, and they got him over a year ago. They had to clear a spot on the 40-man. He was the piece that came back. And interesting guy coming up in the Red Sox system, non-roster invite.
Yeah, different look today than yesterday, too.
Yep.
The bats yesterday weren't that pretty, and hey, that's a part of your first game of spring training. Comes back today, collects himself, puts together a heck of a day.
And now Tyler Esplin.
It's a beautiful sport, isn't it?
It is. The best.
Had many days of stinking, and then all of a sudden, there it is. We just discussed it on the air.
I had to so kindly go through every at bat.
Yeah. Good work on
Nice
the research
guy,
over
huh?
there. Yeah. No, it doesn't bother me. It's in the history books.
3-0. Esplin had the green light. You said how fun it is to watch guys, the younger guys in spring training. 2 years ago at spring training, I watched this guy right here, Tyler Esplin, in right field, make a game-ending diving catch.
Oh, it's the best.
To win a ball game. Chopper left side. He fought that one off, and this is Haley in time. 2 down.
Fans aren't happy with the call. Yeah, a little jumpy on that 3-0 and a little jumpy there. Ball beats him in, and oh, he almost gets this down the third base line. Good play by the third baseman to collect his feet and fire. Good stretch, too. Holy cow. Look at that. Get out there.
Wow. Wilson fouls off the first pitch.
I'll tell you, I'm super impressed with the mic. The sound off the bat is phenomenal.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's loud. It's super loud.
The beauty of this is you're brand new to it, all this. So, like, I get to take it in, and Red Sox fans get to take it in from your perspective. Like, you're going through this for the first time. Yeah. This side of things.
There it is.
Roller through the right side, and Wilson's got a 2-out hit in the 8th. Tying run aboard for the Red Sox.
All right.
We got a trip to the mound here.
Yeah, good swing right there. Just turning on that pitch, coming in a little bit on him. Clearing that hip out of there, finding that hole.
And order is done here in the 8th inning. The Rays make a move, and we will step aside. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Red Sox down 1, but with something brewing. Meaning Fort Myers the site. Last of the 8th inning, 2 outs. Tying run aboard, though. And a new pitcher on for Tampa. It's a guy who, at one point, was in the Red Sox system over the last few years. Seth Blair. And he has quite the backstory that he told to Rob Bradford. He was playing in an adult league just every now and then, about 5 years ago. And he was getting ready for an adult league tournament. And all of a sudden, he threw 97. And there was video of it. So one of his adult league coaches sent it around to a friend. Happened to be a former big leaguer. Some scouts saw it. And next thing you know, a few days later, you got a job again with the Padres for a once very high-profile arm.
That's amazing.
Can you imagine seeing 97?
You're like, hey, I'm just feeling it today. From sidearm.
Eli Murillo strokes one into left. Wilson to second, 2 on for the Sox.
Good piece of hitting right there. You know, Blair's dropping down a little bit with that sidearm. Ball's going to tail away from you. He just stays with it. He has a game plan here to just hit this the other way right from the get-go. Good job of getting it out in there to left center field.
Herrera's had some good ABs
Great
these last 2 days.
Yeah, and it's just smart hitting, too. You know, a guy coming in, you know, he's probably, if he throws you that slider as a lefty, you're probably taking it anyways, but look at something out over the plate.
Herrera, the 24-year-old farmhand, puts 2 on now for Tyreek Reed. Grounded out to third, his last time in the 7th. Big cut on the 1-0.
Tyreek, he's not getting, I mean, he's going in there, he's ready to crush one here. He's leaning back.
Trying to put another one over the monster.
Yeah.
We've seen 2 from the Sox today. Bobby Dahlbeck and Christian Koss. And now it's 2-1 on Reed.
Yeah, when you face these side armors as a righty, you got to be very careful of chasing the ball and look over the heart of the plate or outside. The hard part is when that ball, it will chase you in and you'll start fouling balls off your foot.
3-1.
Yeah, for me, the big one was anything that looked inner half, I'm going to lay off of, because that ball is going to chase me in, and it's going to probably be a ball. Anything that starts out over the middle of the plate, I know that's coming into me where I got a chance to go to left. Anything out over the plate, now I'm trying to hit the ball up the middle past second base. But it's all about your sights with guys that are throwing from the sidearm.
So that, in theory, is something you want. Away, it's not starting in or inner third where you know it's going to run too far in.
Yeah, I wanted that ball just like that one right there. That's the pitch you want right there, where you're staying true up the middle. You're not trying to hit it the other way. That ball's coming back over, so you're trying to pepper that thing back up because the action's coming at you.
Sox down 1, 2 outs, full count, 2 on in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Oh, shorten up here.
3-2. Broken back. Cute in the right center field. A base hit. Wilson scores. And this game is tied.
Yeah, great job here. Gets a slider, 3-2. Stays with it off the end of the bat. Bloops it into right center field. Awesome job.
A stop sign for Marrero at third base. So they're at the corners now for Jonathan Arauz. Third trip for him, a strikeout, and he reached on an error. And takes ball 1. See what Jonathan did in about 30 games with the Red Sox last year.
As a runner on third here, you got to anticipate that possible slider in the dirt.
Dirt ball reads.
You ready to rock? Could be the possible game winner here.
And a 6-6 game in the 8th. Blair's 1-1. Misses the back door.
Yeah, and this is an easy one too. You got the third baseman shifted off the line, so as a runner on third base, you just get that extended lead. You don't even have to move. You're just anticipating, like, I'm ready to rock and go with a huge lead and knowing that you're coming back if he catches it.
Ooh, golf foul. Two aboard with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. Arauz high in the air to right.
Goodness,
Meisner shielding, and he fights it to put it away. The Sox tie it up and leave 2 as we go to the 9th. After the Red Sox played at 2 in the last of the 8th inning. Now we go top 9. Alex Cora, Kevin Cash, in what is the first Grapefruit League game for Tampa. Getting things started this weekend for the Rays. Kevin Cash has said that they're not going to use their major league pitchers that they expect to be their most prominent arms at the big league level over these first 3, meaning today through Sunday, as they try to ramp up. Team that won 100 games last season. New pitcher comes on for the Red Sox here in the 9th inning. Taking over for Silvino Bracho, it's Victor Santos. Came over from the Phillies last summer as a player to be named later in a trade that involved former second-round pick C.J. Chatham. There was some communication, by the way, between Cora and Cash on the number of innings that would be played.
Yeah, that's the key in spring training. I think we should always end at 9.
Alex Cora had, he had 9 fingers up. There was some talk about how long spring training games would be, at least at the beginning coming out of the lockout. Certainly has been 9 innings so far. This is day 2 of spring training games across Major League Baseball. And none of those rollover innings that we had come to see last year, where a certain number of pitches and you just bang an inning right there.
Yeah.
That's not the case this year.
Roll them. Sunglass game is it's definitely changed.
Yeah, it's the last few years, and I think they look like ski goggles.
Yeah, I was ready to say, it looks like
you on the slopes.
Yeah, they're hybrid sunglasses. Take them on the slopes.
Beach. Brewery.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, yeah, definitely need your glasses on at the brewery. Actually, when you're walking through, it's like mandatory at most of them. But yeah, skiing. Let me tell you something. You don't want to start skiing in your mid-30s.
Oh no,
it's not pretty.
2-2 from Santos. Do I dare ask what happened?
It was a learning curve. We're good now. We're going down all the blues. Yeah, we got the blues down. Still worried about those blacks. Like the double blacks, I got no chance on.
Strike 3 called, and Santos has a strikeout to start the 9th. Hey, let's go down to Jemai, who's been doing some investigative reporting.
Yeah, some investigative reporting and some running as well. Getting my steps in, Mike. I just walked up to the Green Monster here at JetBlue Park at Fenway South and found William Singer. He's from Rhode Island, and he was actually recording video. He had his dad recording video on his cell phone while he caught that Koss home run there in the bottom of the 8th inning. And we've got it, and I believe we're going to show it to you guys at some point during the broadcast. But it was pretty incredible, and he said he was excited. Big Red Sox fan, came all the way down from Rhode Island to see this. And here's the video here. This is amateur video, so it's not broadcast quality, but it got the job done, as you can see. Big time catch from William there, and big Red Sox fan. So thank you for the video, William. Shout out to him, of course, and great job, all people around.
That's really cool.
That is unbelievable that he had the video on for that. You know what actually got me worried was that the fence.
Yes.
Somebody can get really excited and go over that thing.
I mean,
he was close. Awesome. That was I mean, that's
Will is fearless. I mean, that's what I've come to learn. Singy is fearless.
I'll tell you, people do crazy things for home runs. A wild story I'll tell you about up there. My dad blew out his Achilles.
Oh no.
In spring training, chasing after a ball. He was up there just hanging out. Home run gets hit. He goes for a ball, blows out his Achilles right there where William was.
You were hitting?
No, I was not hitting, but then one of my buddies goes, "Your dad." And I was like, what happened? Meanwhile, he blew out his other Achilles a couple years before it.
Skiing?
So he knew right away. Not skiing, no, playing racquetball. He just said, felt like the guy hit him in the back of just hit him with the racket, and the guy was 10 feet behind him. But
oh, man.
Yeah, he blew out his Achilles right there with William. Good job, William, not getting hurt up there, bud. A great catch.
Evan Edwards strikes out. Nice changeup from Santos, and he has struck out the first 2 in the 9th.
Yeah, great pitch right there. Just good movement, moving to the bottom of the zone and outside of the zone. Hey, one more, we got a hat trick leading into hockey.
Look at you.
Oh.
Synergy, company man, all the above.
Yes.
2 outs, top 9, bases empty, 6-6 the score. Ball 1. It sounds like Jemai was climbing steps, running stadium steps, getting gassed.
Man, what an employee.
Turnaround time from our crew, by the way, 2nd to none. Shout out to the crew. Dan Aspen, our producer, Mike Narachi, our director, everyone involved.
Yeah, being on this side, you have a good appreciation. Sitting here, seeing all the cameras, and all the people behind the scenes. Really impressive work.
There's a strike, 2-1 to Ford Proctor, who had the 3-run home run his last time.
Not gonna lie to you, Ford Proctor sounds like he should be a golfer.
Oh, yeah. And a good one.
Yeah.
2-1. That's too low. Inside, ball 4. Santos issues a 2-out walk here in the 9th. Hey, for those of you looking to watch UConn Northeastern Hockey East semifinals live from TD Garden, you're going to want to head over to Nesson Plus at the top of the hour. TC and Billy Jaffe on the call. That game about to get started, and then we will join that game in progress right here on Nesson when this game is over. All right, here's Pedro. Pedro Martinez, the batter, grounded out his first time and takes ball 1.
Tell you what, looking through the coaching staffs, man, I played with a lot of players on both teams here.
3 years, right? 3+ years with Cora.
Cora, Cash, Snyder. We got Matola still a hitting coach? Gotta look that
Yep,
one.
he is.
Yeah, Matola I played with.
I mean, you're not far removed from the game.
No, we just move into different roles.
You spent 5 years with the Cubs, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, with Will Venable, he was over there. I got to, you know, Will a little bit when I played, but got to know Will a lot more with the Cubs, and just a great guy and just loves the game, and he'll be a future manager.
Snap throw to first. They did not get Ford Proctor. You can see Marrero glancing down there while Santos was in the windup.
Yep. Yeah. a little bit of the peanut gallery. You got to be ready there. The hard part of that play as a catcher is the hitter's in your way. So it looks a lot easier. Good job, though, throwing it right over his shoulder. Seed right to first base.
Eli Marrero. Victor Santos trying to get this to the bottom of the 9th in a 6-6 game. Facing Pedro Martinez. 2-2. Line to left. Tails away from Esplin. He cuts it off and then goes down as Proctor stops at third. And now second and third for the Rays.
Good piece of hitting here by Pedro. Gets a ball that just keeps moving away from a little change up there and just does a nice job of keeping it down that line. Tough play right there. Throwing on the run in that grass sometimes, that will happen. You got to be careful. That's why you got to plant that back foot in, try to get off the throw. But he's trying to get that ball in as quick as possible to try to keep the guy off second base, possibly get the guy at third base. And unfortunate with the just the slickness there.
Some stirring in the Red Sox pen. 2 on, 2 out. This is Cal Stevenson. First pitch swinging. Chopper right side. Reed gloves, flips, inning over. We will go to the bottom of the 9th. A reminder, if you're looking for the Hockey East semifinals, UConn and Northeastern right now, Nesson Plus, and then here on Nesson once this is through. Rays in game number 2 of the spring.
Only way to have it in spring training. 9 and done.
Kevin Youkilis, Jemai Webster, Mike Monaco in for Dave O'Brien, our entire crew with you. And let's see if the Red Sox can walk things off here at JetBlue Park. New pitcher for the Rays is Joel Peguero, who had a 4.31, mostly out of the pen in the upper levels of the minor leagues last season. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 in the Red Sox lineup. Starts with Jeter Downs. And if you don't scour the minor league system for the Red Sox, he was one of the big pieces that came back from the Dodgers in the Mookie trade.
Yeah, some of that's tough too. You know, you got a lot of pressure on you, and when you get in those trades and you move over to a new team, so sometimes guys can put a little too much pressure on themselves after that trade and think they have to try to do too much. So hopefully, you know, this year he just realizes and understands that, hey, just do your thing.
Well, Pedro Martinez is exiting this game. He had been at shortstop, and on his way walking off the field was grabbing at the back of his upper right leg. Hamstring.
Hamstring. That's not fun early on in spring, but sometimes that's a part of it too, where you're not playing in games, you're not used to the game, you know, the speed of the game and all the little things that happen.
Upper right leg. Hamstring.
Hamstring. That's not fun early on in spring, but sometimes that's a part of it too, where you're not playing in games, you're not used to the game, you know, the speed of the game and all the little things that happen in a game where, you know, you train a certain way. You train, you know, with, you know, your strength training, you're running linear, you're doing all the stuff that you have to do. The problem is when you're taking different cuts at a game speed and at a competitive level.
Hopefully he's all right. He exits, and Gianti Turner, you saw, come in to replace him. For the last of the ninth inning, Jeter Downs. First pitch swinging.
Hey.
On the ground. Welcome to the ball game, Turner. And Jeter Downs is on.
Yeah, great job here being aggressive, turning on it, pulling the hands in, base hit, knocked to left.
The ball will find you.
Oof, right away, right?
Here's Ceddanne Rafaela. Ball one.
This is also a time you might see Alex try to do a hit and run. Try to get these guys, see, you know, a lot of times trying to see with the young players if they know the signs too.
And who's paying attention?
Sometimes that happens. Funny thing is the younger players actually know the signs better than the older players a lot of times in spring. Because the signs will change for the season.
2-0. Same signs, do they carry over year to year? Like end to like first meeting you're going over signs?
Usually they change year to year. You know, especially now, everyone is.
Yes.
Everyone's worried about everything. So yeah, usually they change. You know, but when you're playing for a team like the Red Sox with a good lineup, there's not a lot of play calls that you're running.
On the move, Rafaela in the air, right field, and Meisner makes the catch, and Downs has to retreat in time. They were all over you.
Yeah, good time right there. 2-1. The pitcher's got to come at you. You know, he doesn't want to get to 3-1 with a guy on first base, nobody out in the ninth inning. Just missed it.
Well, get your cameras out, get the video rolling, especially if you're in the monster, because here's Christian Koss. Ball one. Is Will ready out there? Oh, he's ready.
He is. He's greedy. Look at him.
Is the camera rolling? Ours is for sure. 1-0. Runner takes off. The throw on the money. Jeter Downs thrown out number 2.
Just a perfect throw right here. Right on the money. Good play. Good scoop. Scoop it. Barely.
Good throw from Rene Pinto. 1-1. Koss swings through it.
That is the pitch we wanted right there to steal on. With the ball going away from the catcher, the other one was just a backup slider that was a lot easier to throw at a runner.
1-2. Inside. This was the home run, if you missed it, from Christian Koss. And the catch in the monster.
Man, good swing on that slider, just a cutter. Can't tell what it is. But man. Attaboy, William.
2-2 is low and a full count.
Man, great take right there, too.
So again, Jemai got his Pulitzer. Dad filming. We saw that video. And will lightning strike twice?
Well, let's hope.
And will everyone save their Achilles? 3-2.
Oh!
Koss!
Oh!
In the air!
Oh!
Left field!
Send him!
It's a walk-off winner! Electric finish!
And William is not catching that one. That one is out of the building. Awesome job on a slider. Another slider. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know if that was a slide. He knew he got it right away. This ball is absolutely crushed.
Two jacks for Christian Koss.
Look at
1-2
William.
the monster.
He's right. Is that William? No, I don't think that was William. That's somebody else. But
That's so good.
so good. What a great performance from a young player, doing some damage.
2 homers, including the walk-off big fly. And the Red Sox are 2-0 in Grapefruit League action. 7-6 the final. The Red Sox over the Rays. For Kevin Youkilis, Jemai Webster, the rest of our crew led by producer Dan Aspen, director Mike Narachi, Mike Monaco saying so long, but don't go anywhere. Right here on NESN, the Hockey East semifinals from TD Garden. TC, Billy Jaffe,